are back! I'm Su-Wan, your friendly TCM physician. I hope that you guys enjoyed our last video. Today we are going to give you a different recipe which is a lot more East meets West. And with this, we are going to use an arsenal of 5 different herbs. So here you go, these are the 5 herbs. So we have the astragalus, huang, the shan, Chinese yam, wolfberry, red dates and Chinese barley. As you can see, we have 2 newcomers today, which is the red dates and the Chinese barley. The red dates is generally a very good nourishing herb, so it boosts people's energy. And for people who feel anxious and they have trouble sleeping at night, red dates is also a very good herb for it. So this particular combination of herbs is a little bit more balanced. And one more reason why, the Chinese barley. So for Chinese barley, can you imagine that Singapore is a very humid country, which means that our body will also adapt to Singapore and become very humid as well. So some of you have been sitting at home for a while, maybe some of you don't get to enjoy aircon, or some of you do have aircon, but because of all the snacking and the lack of movement, you guys may feel a little bit heavier than usual. So which means that the humidity might be stuck in your body, and this Chinese barley is very good for flushing out that dampness or the heavier sensation in your body. So remember, when you buy a Chinese barley, make sure you get the correct one, which is this. It looks like this. If you get a barley that looks like this is the Western barley. It tastes nice, but it isn't as effective. So remember to get the Chinese barley when you are doing into your cooking. So these are the 5 herbs that I've introduced today, and I'm looking forward to what Chef John is able to cook up with these 5 herbs.
Today I'm going to show you something a little bit different from what we did the last one, okay? The last one we did Pao Fan, and then today I'm going to show you how to actually do a little bit of things like, what we call East Midwest kind of cuisine. So we're going to actually work on an Italian chicken stew with TCM herbs, herbs from Su. And then what happens is that same thing also like what we did the last time around. I'm going to break the recipe into 2 components, okay? The 2 components literally have the first one as what we have did previously before. You need some Chinese barley, red dates, wolfberry, huang, and huai shan into this, okay? 30 grams each. What you have to do, put it into 2 liters of water. Okay, except the wolfberry. What you're going to do is put it inside a pressure cooker, let it cook for at least 5 minutes. A quick 5 minutes, let it simmer and stew inside for 5 minutes, okay? If you don't have a pressure cooker, doesn't worry about it. Get a normal pot or pan, let it simmer, bring it to a boil, let it simmer, and let it cook for at least 20 minutes before you actually use it. What we want is actually, we want the stock, the herbal stock from the Chinese TCM herbs. Okay, the next one we're going to do, we're going to start cooking, okay? Very simple. Get a pan, get a non-stick pan, make sure it's a little bit warm. A little bit of oil onto the pot. 1 or 2 tablespoons, 2 tablespoons preferred, onto the pan. Let it twirl around. Make sure the pan is actually hot. What you need to do next, onions. Test the pan by finding out whether the pan is actually hot enough. As you put in the onions, you must hear a sizzling sound. That is actually to tell you that the pan is actually hot enough. Once the onions goes in, what you have to do is lightly saute it for around 1 to 2 minutes. Okay, what you want to do is actually, you want to actually saute the onions or fry the onions until it's actually slightly golden brown. When it's actually golden brown, then can you actually achieve a very nice fragrant and also a sweet aroma. If the onions actually not been sauteed well, what tends to happen is your chicken stew tends to be a little bit on the spicier side. Okay, push all the onions to the side of the pan. Okay, you get your chicken meat wing. Okay, I love this part of the chicken. Chicken meat wing, frozen chicken meat wings, put it in. Okay, a little bit more oil to caramelize it, another tablespoon or so. Okay, just don't flip it first. Let it nicely caramelize until it's slightly golden brown on one side or 2 sides. Okay, slightly golden brown. Turn the chicken meat wing. Okay, for another 1.5 minutes on the other side, 1.5 minutes on each side. Okay, so you can actually achieve a very, very nice light golden brown on the side. The method of actually pan sealing or let your chicken actually brown a little bit on the pan is actually also to make sure that your stew will taste very good. You know, just imagine the amount of a little bit of chicken fats from that wings will actually infuse into the stew as it goes later on. Okay, all chicken on deck. Next thing to go in, a little bit of mushroom, brown shimeji mushroom, bit of cherry tomatoes, a little bit of white shimeji mushrooms, and some sweet corn, canned sweet corn. All these ingredients are actually very, very easily available, you know, anywhere in the supermarket or the wet market. Okay, I'll let this actually sit inside for a while. When this is done, remember the TCM herb stock that we have did 5 minutes ago in the pressure cooker? What you have to do is, now is the time to actually open it up. Let's bring it over. And then what you have to do is actually scoop up the soup, okay, or the stocks, okay, and then we will deglaze it. If you want to, one of the things back home that I will actually normally will do is that I will actually get some rice wine, you know, or white wine, okay, just linger it, deglaze it, and then it actually will actually give your chicken stew a much more sweeter aftertaste. So a little bit of the barley, the stock, the huang, and the huai shan. Okay, actually the huai shan is actually really, really very tasty. The woody taste is something that I really like in my chicken stew. You have something to bite, you know, very much like if you go, you know, back in Italy or France, you actually eat your chicken stew with root vegetables. Okay, let's bring this to a boil. Bring this to a boil. 1 can of whole pure tomato, 1.5 can or so, okay, because the chicken we use is around 800 grams. 800 grams of frozen chicken meat wings. So smash the whole pure tomato. You know, there's a very fun fact that is actually in the market. Do you know that, you know, you're going to ask someone fresh tomato and canned tomato, which is actually much more fresher? Okay, a lot of people will tell you the fresh tomato is actually fresher, but it's actually wrong. You know, tomato that's been stewed and canned is actually has 10 times more vitamins and minerals than the normal fresh tomatoes. Okay, literally because once tomato go into a cook process of 100 degrees and above, during canning process or sterilizing process, what happens is that it actually releases special chemicals called lycopeptins that is actually will make your tomatoes 10 times more vitamins and minerals. So to me, it's like go for canned tomato. Canned tomato are really, really very healthy. Put around 1.5 can. Okay. You know, I don't want to waste it, so I just put everything. I love tomatoes. Okay, bring this stew to a boil. As it goes to a boil, a little bit of rock salt, Himalayan hot rock salt, a little bit of a tablespoon or so, a tablespoon and a half of honey. Okay, and then a little bit of garlic powder or crispy fried garlic. Okay, and we will put in our, some people call it wolfberry, some people call it goji berry. Okay, so a little bit of it, 30 grams of it, into the stew. Okay, I'll let this actually boil up and reduce, you know, for let's say 15 minutes to 20 minutes until you get the right consistency. Okay, so after 15 to 20 minutes, this is actually what you get. You know, the liquid actually get lesser and slightly thicker. Okay, add in a little bit more corn as a garnish. A little bit of fried garlic or garlic powder. A little bit of spring onions for greens. Here you go. I bring to you a very hearty tomato, a chicken tomato stew. Serve it with some rice, some butter rice, or serve it with some toasted homemade bread. Here you go, chicken stew with TCM herbs.
Totally smells like my childhood. Got chicken wing, mushroom, tomato, corn. Wow, all my favorites.
It's so simple. Please try this at home. Do remember to
Like and subscribe. If you like our food, share our food. If you like our videos, make sure to share our video as well.
stay home.
Stay healthy.